It's your boy Kenny Coins, man. I'm back with Profit with Cam and DJ. These guys are amazing. You know, they were just on Fresh and Fit. The reason why I like them so much because everybody knows I'm more of a long term trader, long term investor. My options are long term. The way I do it is more fundamental. But we get so many people that come on here that at least through my platform that they want to learn how to option trade in 30 days. Be able to get an option contract that expires in 2 weeks, 30 days, 60 days, and be more technically sound. I don't mind teaching y'all, but I think we need to learn it from people that are doing it every day on a daily basis, and that's DJ and Cam. So let me. Who wants to go first, Cam or DJ, to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I can go ahead and start. So, what's up, guys? My name is Cam Dasani, originally from the Silicon Valley, and I got into trading because I worked for a fintech company called Beam, where Goldman Sachs was actually their lead investor, along with Google. Now, with that, I was able to make certain connections on Wall Street that allowed me to become more educated about the stock market and more specifically options trading. And that's how I was able to connect with people like DJ, who's now on my team, my business partner, who leads basically our trading consulting side, where we teach people not only how to follow our trades very specifically, but actually understand the data and what's going on behind.
How you guys doing? My name's Dame. Like you said, Cam, we've been boys for a while, but started out with investing in like 2018, 2019. That's when before I started diving into trading, it was more so just me understanding the terminology and all the whole world of trading because investing is totally different, So once I sat back and tried to learn, stayed in touch with Cam, we made this an idea, and then 5 years later, 6 years later, we're here.
And guys, that's amazing. But I do wanna ask you when you started trading in 2018, that was like the Trump era. Did you feel like during that era, if you threw $1 in the market, you made 100?
Exactly. Yeah, I had a lot of friends around me that were telling me to throw money into Bitcoin, the stock market. I watched guys like the Earn Your Leisure guys. They
Yeah,
were just starting out, but they were very small then. But
yeah,
Chris Johnson is from where I'm from in the Inland Empire in Southern California, so he was buzzing around already on my feed. So, like I said, before I started trading, it was just straight investing. I didn't want to
yeah.
dive into the world of trading. I was warned. I had my uncle who was a former stockbroker. I have my other uncle on my mom's side of the family who was a big investor. So they were always in my ear, just giving me a heads up. And then trading was just always intriguing to me. Numbers was always like my thing.
Yeah. The thing about stockbrokers, and I'm not saying they're wrong about trading, but I think that a lot of people go into trading with no rules. Like, you
Right.
kind of have to be
Exactly.
disciplined to do this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If you're not disciplined, you're always going to think, oh, this is rigged. They stealing from me. No, no, no. You kind of have to, like, cut your losses, note, like, trail stop,
Mm-hmm.
trail gain. I try to promote all that, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but I like to talk to people that like started back in like 2018, 2017 during like the Trump era, because when you
Right.
started, it's like that's when the market was good. It gives you like a false sense of like confidence because like that's
Yeah.
not how
Yeah.
the market really acted. Like the market's
Right.
crazy now, man. Like a lot of people can make money because there's a lot more people in the markets. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing I want to ask, so what's you guys like trading style? What do you guys prefer?
I prefer swings as well. I don't mind doing day trades. I like a day like today was a perfect example. Like I already anticipated any kind of sell off going into this morning with Trump and the court ruling with regarding the tariffs. So once I saw the bleeding happening, I literally said once it was getting close to 620, 618, I said I'm waiting for them QQQ to come down to 614 and a half, and that's where I'll be looking to be entering. And it straight bounced right off of 614. I could have played a 0 day, but I'm being mindful that we have people that might not be as prepared to take a same day trade. So I gave it an alternative with doing a 630 call, for next Friday, because we did just come down from 627, and we came to a strong support level today of 614, filled the gap, retested the zone, and it's following the same pattern, my trend lines that I have drawn out. And I was like, I feel 100% confident with this, and sure as hell, it went the right direction, just as anticipated. And I use obviously my indexes, the VIX, to give me an idea of what's going on with the volume. But that's
Yeah, the
about it.
VIX is the one index. The VIX is one index I refuse to let go.
Yep.
Most index I got rid of. Like most of them, like moving average is great to take a look at that. But if you can't tell price off of a chart, you kind of stuck. You know what I mean? Price
Yep.
range. You should be able to create trend lines on your own.
Yep.
And I try to tell people to practice. So man, like tell me, like if I were to get on here, what would you recommend like a starting account? If I were like, for you guys don't know, the QR code leads to like their 14-day trial, like Profit with Cam. So tell me if like, for example, if I were to get on with you guys, like what do you recommend starting out, like cash wise
Yeah.
That depends on you. You go ahead, Cam, on that one.
in an account?
Yeah. So realistically, 5 to 10K is more than enough to get into a decent amount of trades quickly. We have two channels, and it kind of goes off of DJ's last point where, hey, you'll give an alternative for people that might not be prepared to just do a same day trade, because that actually requires you to sit down and monitor it. So, with that said, we have our intraday channel, which is for those people that do have the time to sit down and enter and exit on the same day. And then we also have our traditional signals channel, which is basically for week long or 2 week long swings. So if you have 5K, 10K is better, but if you have 5K at a minimum, you have more than enough to start building this account quickly. DJ, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, and I've preached, I gave like a rubric to a lot of people where if they can get used to stacking 15 to 25% gains and developing the habits, following our rules, following our indicators and things that we've taught them, that they should execute 2 successful trades a week. And you're just looking to aim to get 15 to 25%. If that is your goal, I promise you with this formula, it will work every single time. You just have to trust it, see it work, test it, and like I said, reap the benefits off of it. And then the beauty of it is when people buy those multiple contracts, say you buy 5-10 contracts and you get that 25% gain. You can sell most of it and keep that 1 or 2 runners. If you ask, hey, Coach Dave, do you think it's going to keep running? Do you think we're going to hit a sell off right here? And I tell him I'm holding a runner. I think that we're going to be exiting in a couple cents or at this mark, XYZ, you know what I'm saying, like that. So once I gave them that rubric and how to stack 25% gains, it's happened, like Cam said, within the first week or two, sometimes with the very next day with our full conviction swings that we're giving these people opportunities to leave it alone for a week or two. But sometimes, more times than not, it happens within the first couple of days.
Man, question that comes to mind, man. Like I always preach the 15 to 25% gain. Collect your profits, get them as quick as
Like,
possible.
pay yourself.
Pay yourself as quick as possible. You don't want to at least do a trail stop gain. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
if you want to let something run and you don't want to sell, like because there's some people that even in my group, like, oh, I have 10 contracts. I don't want to give it because I want to gain those profits. I would tell them, you know what? Hey, put a trail stop at like 25%. If it bounce back, you at least you get out, but you're gonna end up getting out as much as you want to get out of it. But how did you build your system though? Like is yours is like, did you build an algorithm or do you have particular indicators and signals that you put together?
Yeah, I had my brother that taught me really with trading once he was the one that really gave us this rubric to follow. But the ones that I use for my most success, really, like you said, it's the least amount of indicators. I use Bollinger Bands that measure volatility with wherever their price action's at. I use the 9 EMA for daily trades or intraday trades. And if I'm doing swings, I don't even use a moving average. I use a 200 moving average, and I've understood charts, shooting candles, hammer candles, the gap fills. I don't really use too many indicators as much, but for our group, we do give them about like 9 to 10 indicators to add to their chart to help them at least understand what inside bars are, outside bars, the candle going two up and continuing its trend and direction. So we're trying to get them to understand what all these terms mean, because we have a watch list that we give out every single day, where we're keeping an eye out on what the charts are doing on the daily time frame, the 2-day time frame, the 3-day time frame, the 4-day, the week, the 2-week, the 3-week, the month, the quarter. We're looking at all those, so we're giving them a lot more opportunities to understand why we're using those time frames to measure or forecast what we see coming.
Are you more index focused? Because how you manage to get like signals? If you're more index focused, I can see that you can manage like 4 or 5. But are you index or equities? Just straight individual stocks.
I do both, but mainly equities. The intradays, it was just because we were just in QQQ last week. That one went to like 60-80%, and I got out of it. And sure as hell, the market ended up selling off, and I was like, "This is what I was waiting for." So indexes, I really only use those on the intradays. I don't really do those for the full commission swings. Those are obviously a lot more volatile, so we're going to have a lot of clients feeling that kind of way if it's not going the direction that they would like for it to go, especially when it has time on it. So I don't blame them. This how I was. I felt the same way when I was first starting out. Like, oh my gosh, like the contract that we just got into it and it's down 10-20%. What's going on? I'm like, bro, we have 2 weeks or
Yo,
two
yeah.
months on this. Like,
Yeah, yo,
chill.
explaining that to people is so hard. That's why I try to tell people, man, a lot of time is their limit order. They don't
Yeah,
put no limit orders in, man. They just market order that shit. It's like
yeah,
market order. It's like, damn, that you let Robinhood steal from you like that? Like, cause
yeah.
that's what Robinhood do. It's
But there's
like they
also
they
a lot of problems that people do that where it will go to like that 15-25% mark, like you said, and they want it to go to 40-50% or that 100%, all the things that they see on the media, and
yeah.
then they give that money away because their stop loss that they had in their head is still at -25% or -10%. And it's like, no, you're supposed to move your stop loss into the green once it gets past your target.
Yeah, you got no, bro. You gotta move. A lot of people don't want to do that, man. They
Yeah,
wanna,
yeah,
they wanna like they want home runs. They want every time you tell them a trade, they gotta
yeah.
make 100% every single time. It's
Right,
just like, nobody want to stack, nobody want to be patient. Yo, I
right.
try to tell people this game is hard. That's why I try to say, like, man, with the equities individual stocks, man, how you finding them? What's your methodology behind? Are you just doing volume? Are you looking like for volume on
I,
on
I
the
I like to pick and stick with my favorite stocks. I have a long watch list. I probably have like about like two or no, maybe I'm not gonna let me stop exaggerating. Maybe like only 100 stocks that I'll probably look through that I have on my watch list. But I have two separate ones, which is one being like the main focus stocks or anywhere from the Mag 7 to Netflix to the main banks, Berkshire, Citi, JPM, American Express, Visa, all the way down to Verizon, AT&T, oil companies, gas companies, and then like a few other little favorite stocks like Alibaba, like retail stocks like that, a couple of the airlines. Like I have all the main like things like that. Obviously the semiconductors. Then I have another watch list where I put as lookout. You already know the rumor mills, the new companies are coming up, where you're kind of keeping an eye on, like APLD. Like I invested into APLD when I was $8-10. ASTS. I was in ASTS when it was $15-20. Palantir, $20-40. I wish I was doing leaps then, but I was thinking of investing at that time, and I wasn't running this Discord before. Before I was just focusing on getting those singles. I wasn't thinking long-term swings just yet, even though I had a few already moving in the background. But when I came across Palantir, it was at that like $15, and I did start investing and trading it once it got to $20, $40.
Damn, man,
Right,
that was one of my biggest mistake Palantirs. Man, I should have.
man,
I feel like I should have overloaded on that. Actually, I feel like I
man,
should have took
right?
everything and just dumped it in there if I knew what was coming. If I knew what was
Yeah,
coming, man, I would have just, you
I
know
would have been
what?
at 10x already, and that was what, just last year. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, bro. Me and Andrew Tate will be sitting next to each other. That's how much money I would have put into it. Like that's serious, man. But like,
Yeah,
yo, you do that. That's the thing I like doing both, like with the options and just buying like block of shares. You know what I mean? Like
right.
if I have a conviction, you know what I mean, and then I see like, yo, this is kind of going my way, and I'm already in the option, I let that run. You know what I mean? But I'm always gonna try to collect my profit. But I do have that same, I got 150 stocks that I'm looking at. I try to keep newcomers. But how do you feel about like news and like information coming through? Are you paying attention to that in the morning? Because I do have a friend. He's big use of like, I don't know if you heard of like a platform called Fox Runner. I don't know if you ever heard of
It sounds
it.
familiar. I would come across
It,
so many pages
it,
during the day when I look at the news
it Yeah, so
and the
like Fox Runner is
announcements.
like a basic. It's like announcements. Yeah, it's correct. It's like announcement
Yeah,
for just publicly traded company, and then
yeah,
he
yeah.
straight up just buys shares. He don't trade options. So
Right.
he'll buy like pennies, basically penny stocks, and then based on certain information, you should probably check it out. But the my issue with it is that you is like basically first in first serve. It's not really, if you don't
Yeah.
catch it, you don't catch it. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's really what it is. It's like, but I see him, man. He be making like 200-300%. I was wondering like how you react to that kind of stuff. Are you Do you try to partake in that, or you just stuck with like blue chips, anything that's like heavy volume, heavy velocity in it, that got that juice, so you don't have to really worry about it going against you really fast.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, once you know how to read a chart, you already know what's going to happen before an announcement really comes out. You'll see certain volume pick up at certain price points. You'll see where we have some call blocks or some sell blocks above or beneath candles, and especially when you zoom out and you go to bigger time frames and see what that company's big picture type of thing, you know what I'm saying? And then you can make your best assessment off of that. Now, as far as announcements goes, I like watching the announcements and paying attention to them, but I don't let them deter me, especially if I'm already in a position that has a lot of time on it. Then I'm not. I always tell my our clients, don't get shook out by short term chaos or short term noise in our long positions. That's what they're trying to do. I preach all the time. This is market manipulation. When I see
Yep.
little things like the shakeout before the breakouts, we'll be live streaming and there'll be a sell off. My DMs are going off. The options chat is going off. Like, hey, it's going down here minus 20%, minus 30%, and I'm just clapping like, yes. Shake everybody out. Get Shake all the people that are not really understanding and don't have the conviction and don't have the mental awareness, or what is it called? Just left my head. Uh, Besides conviction, but I don't get shook out by the short term noise.
Market conditions, I like to call it market conditions.
Market conditions,
Like
market
a lot of
manipulation, same thing.
mark,
Yeah.
they say, yeah, mark. Most people they can't assess the market conditions. Like, and I do try to, just like you're saying, people don't understand institutionals, like trading firms, bro. They
Mm-hmm.
sit there and their goal is to try to shake you out. That's the goal,
Exactly.
because they want to get this. They want the stock to drop to a certain level, even though they know,
Exactly.
okay, I have like a day to get this stock to like $15 because I know it's gonna reverse on me. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So they try to shake as many people out to buy the stock cheaper, and then after that they just sit there and then, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said like a lot of people get like, definitely when somebody enters a trade right when the market opens, it's like, oh my gosh, it's going against me, and sells it at 10 o'clock. And then
Yep.
at 11 o'clock, the stock is like $5 higher, and they were right the whole
Mm-hmm.
time. It's
Yep.
more about, man, it's about mentality. But that's why I say, like, experience plays a big, huge role.
Absolutely.
Experience plays a humongous role because you
Yeah.
got to go through those things. Everybody's been shook out. You
Mm-hmm.
done this long enough. We all been shook out. We all
Yep.
click that mouse button a little too quick. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And then
and they're
we sit
kicking
there.
ourselves a couple minutes later,
Yeah,
just mad at the world, like how, why did I do that?
100%, 100%. So, man, like, I want to get into like what you guys do and how people's gonna like what when people join, man, like in just the past, like what's the give us some good example of people coming on and they're actually like after after you guys help them, they're trading on their own, they're more efficient, they're actually
Oh man, I
contributing
love
to
to see
profit
that.
with Cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
DJ,
love to
You
see
know what I
that.
mean?
Go ahead.
let me
Yeah.
start this one, and then I want you to finish it because I want to see what you're going to say
Okay.
about Zach. So, because Zach is the first person that comes to mind. I mean, we can name dozens of examples, but Zach is somebody that started on October 20th of last year, so a few months ago. Knew nothing about trading, let alone like the stock market at all. Like, it's not like that was his thing. He was a corporate employee that worked his way up the ladder, and then he bought into a payroll franchise. But he sold his house for like $600K in Dallas, and basically he was sitting on some cash, and he was like, "Hey, I want something that I can do alongside everything else that I have going on with this new payroll franchise and this new business." He's made 80 grand in December. So DJ, maybe you want to break that down a little bit. Like, what has he learned, and like what has he done, and you can kind of dive into the depths of that.
I mean, he just kept showing up to the live streams, to the one-on-one meetings that before we had 2 days of office hours, we only had Sunday meetings, and he was there at all the Sunday meetings. Like I said, in the live stream, getting an understanding of how to use a watch list that we give out, our rules, and what our indicators mean, all that stuff. And he was like a sponge, and like you said, it took him no more than a couple weeks or a month to really just grasp and trust us and understand why we enter at these times, why we exit at certain times, certain levels above pre-market or below pre-market, all those type of things. And then, like I said, he's always interacting and staying on top of it. And like I said, he just developed that discipline and the strategy that just started working time and time again for him. So where now he's able to take those trades on the watches as well, like Cam said. A handful of others I could name probably like 10 people that like they joined within the first 2 weeks, and we're like, yo, you're killing it, like,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
and,
Where we
and
have people that have been here for months and they still haven't like fully grasped it, but you never know who has that available time outside of a Discord to really sit there and
I
grasp
was
that type of
I
stuff.
was I was just about to say that. I feel like now, man, I got faith in you guys. I believe you guys. So my thing is, there's a lot of platforms. The reason why a lot of people say they don't work, it all comes down to how much time you put into something.
Yeah.
For example, Zach, showing up every Sunday, showing up to the two office days, showing up, reading the charts, doing all the homework you give them. Though that's how you're gonna make what you get into something work. If you don't do none of that, it ain't gonna work. That's just the fact of
Right.
life. That's why I try to tell people, it's like they'll sign up, oh, it doesn't work, and you really look at their work ethic, it's like, nah, it's not working because you're not working it, and that's just really the
Mm-hmm.
bottom line. You're not really putting in the time. You talk about getting money and, oh, I don't want to work, but you're not really putting in the time to actually learn on how these guys do these things, and that's why I actually was like,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted you guys to give example of people like who, and that Zach story is perfect. Every Sunday he showed up. He did this. He did that. He did this. He did the watch list. He listened to everything. He did all the homework. That's
He
what it
asked the
really takes.
questions. He asked
He
follow-up
actually,
questions. He asked for
that's
assurance.
what it's gonna really take. And I like to promote that, and try to promote It's like, oh, you get in, you're gonna make money. No, you pay to be a part of the team. Be a part.
Man,
That's really
exactly.
be a part.
Talk about Bobby, because Bobby's story, and this is not the like perfect Zach story example. Bobby came in and requested a refund in 4 days. Then he stayed in, and now he's made like what, 70K in like a month.
Bobby just needed to trust the system as well, because there's a lot of people that also came that learned from other groups or other trade gurus across all media platforms. And I told them all the time, look, there's only so many ways you can skin a cat, and there's a lot of bad information out there. I'm not going to say that it's necessarily wrong, but it can be more times than not useless, right? And then once I was helping him simplify it, it started to click for him as well. To now he's posting almost every other day in Trading Success. Singles, we're getting a rally with these singles and doubles. I'm perfectly fine with that. And now he's just going on a tear right now. There's 20 percenters, these 30 percenters, and we're in these positions to where we can sit back and let the charts come to our levels and then enter, instead of just going fishing blindly.
And on that point, right? Basically, useless information around the world and YouTube and other people is one thing, but lack of support is the second thing. So when we talk about work ethic, it's also sometimes not people's fault, in the sense of like, well, if all you're doing is sending, I'm not going to say names, but if all you're doing is sending an email on Mondays with a little bit of research, or I'll actually say somebody's name that I look up to, Chris Camillo. Chris Camillo is worth 70 million, and he's an options trader. I'm in his Discord. It's free. Why is it free? Because it's just research. So if you want to do the research and do the really hard work like him, well, that's why it's free. But he doesn't want to give people the game and actually give them the ability to follow the trades, right?
Yeah.
So,
So there's also some people that just they can't teach. They only can be players.
Yeah, that too.
Michael Jordan is a prime example. It's like the greatest example of that. It's like he owned the Charlotte Bobcats and the Charlotte Hornets, and it was like he would get mad at players because they couldn't do a jump from the free throw line. It's like, dude, it's like, and he can't teach them how to do it. So there's people out there, they can't really, no matter how much they try, they just get mad and angry at you.
yeah.
It's like, you're not really teaching me, man. There's you know what I mean? You could be that type of person. That really
And more
can't.
times than not, they don't even have someone there for you to speak to and actually ask these questions during trading hours, let alone outside of trading hours.
Yeah,
You know,
so
you got to speak with a representative or just the rest of the members within the community.
Yeah.
that's the thing. We have the live stream. So for people wondering what that is, during trading hours, you don't have to like schedule a call. You can literally just come in the Discord live stream, unmute your microphone, and ask your question. The time to support is so fast. And I think that's what we have that's different, where people are successful, is that they don't have to wait days to get a question answered. They don't have to open a support ticket. And I think that's why our clients are successful, even if they knew nothing about the stock market before, or if they were experienced traders already.
Yeah, I think that's a way better learning edge. I think you guys have a great edge on that by doing it that way, because it gives people access to learn a lot quicker. But man, we're getting close to that time. But man, it's great talking to you guys. 100%. It's a great talking, man. I hope we can get back on this again and definitely chop it up, talk about the markets. Put this out there. Anybody that's listening to Marathon Money, I know there's a ton of you guys out there. Check them out. They got the click the QR code. It's a free trial. Actually put effort into what they're trying to do. I think if you put effort into it, you're going to get something out of it. And I'm not talking about, I gave it like 30 days. I'm talking about 90 days. Give it real effort. You know what I mean? Give it some time to mature.
Kenny, I wouldn't even go that far. I appreciate you saying try longer.
Yeah.
But what we saw when we went on Fresh and Fit is that within the first 3 to 4 days of the 14-day trial, people were buying. And DJ, I haven't even told you this today. Now we have people locking in renewal pricing, and their contract is still not up. Meaning,
that's crazy.
The results are so absurd that people are literally this before we raise prices like in mid January. Well, it's mid January now, but we're raising prices at the end of the month, and people are ready to like lock in their renewal price now, so they don't have to pay the premium later. And that's what I'm saying. Like you don't even really have to wait 90 days. If you actually watch what's going on, you'll see that this is what we say it is.
I love to hear that, man. You guys, yo, peace.
Appreciate y'all. Talk soon.